We've hit the ceiling of AI development. Or not. You may have noticed that in the world of AI, nothing truly groundbreaking has happened lately, especially if you compare it to the last few years. And it feels like that AI has reached its current limits. You can really see it as the giant companies and even entire countries are fighting to break through this crisis. And everyone is trying their own way. The US is building massive AI city in the middle of Emirates desert. Elon Musk is talking about rewriting all the humanity knowledge from the scratch. Biggest companies are literally poaching engineers from each other for tens or even hundreds of $1,000,000. And that's what we are going to talk about today. This video is going to be like a deep dive what's actually happening in the world of AI right now. Because there is a lot of going on, but mostly they are hidden under the hood. And I want you to leave this video with a real understanding on where we are right now, what's coming next, what companies are struggling with, and most importantly, how you can spot the opportunities in all of this. Because there are opportunities right now. So what is the problem? What is the ceiling that AI has run into? And to understand this, you need to know what actually powers artificial intelligence. When people think about AI, most pictures like chatbots, maybe a voice assistants, just some algorithms, ones and zeros. But honestly, that's just a tip of the iceberg. The real magic happens way beneath the surface. I'm talking about the stuff that regular users never see, the data centers. These are giant rooms with these thousands of servers, and the AI model you chat with in your browser or in your phone actually lives in these servers' halls. Training AI isn't just running a program, it's a billions of operations running in parallel, non-stop. And if you try to do that in a regular computer, it would just fry. You need a specialized supercomputers, tons of cooling, and insane amount of energy. By the way, speaking about energy, just remember the world because in the coming years, I believe, companies will pour billions, even trillions of dollars into this. My Chinese friends are already doing this. The Chinese billionaires I know, they already are spending billions of dollars on that in China. And there is actually a lot of problems in those areas that need to be fixed and find some solutions. So, both training and after, the models uses this service to answer, to analyze, to create, translate, write, draw, you name it. And it's all happening in these data centers. And the very first bottleneck companies are hitting right now is power, pure computational capacity. That's why right now we're seeing a global construction boom of new data centers everywhere in the world. By the way, check out this new map from New York Times. It shows where the world's AI computer powered is concentrated. And this is literally map of power, I would say. Because whoever controls the biggest share of data centers will lead in AI. It's that simple. And the picture is pretty wild. That's why US wants to pour billions or even trillions into this space. And US feeling really okay because right now they're in the first place. 63% of all AI computer power in the hand of Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. China behind with only 28%. That's Alibaba, Huawei, Tencent. Europe is barely on the map, only 4%. And the rest of the world, just 5%. Oh, by the way, I recently came across a new term, digital feudalism. Today, only 32 countries have their own specialized AI data centers. Everyone else is forced to rent from the tech lords. And honestly, it's a lot look like the US once dominated the world by making oil traded in dollars, the universal currency. They said, oh, use it, it's convenient. And now it feels like they're trying to do the same, but with AI. I will dive deeper into all of this in a separate video. Trust me, it's going to be a wild story, very interesting. So make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss it, or just subscribe to support. I make sure the content on this channel will be interesting. Right now, we are in the middle of the gold rush for data centers. every major tech company that dreams of being first to superintelligence, or just want to do at least a huge leap toward, or just wants to make a huge leap forward, is racing to build its own computing fortress. In a desert of the West Texas, OpenAI is currently building what they call the world first AI city, the project called Stargate. You probably heard about this earlier this year, when Trump even said they wanted to pour $500 billion into that. By the way, this only one data center will consume more power than the entire city of San Francisco. That's where they plan to train their next generation of GPT models. Meta is building data center in Louisiana, which will use actually even more than OpenAI data centers, about 2 gigawatts of power. Basically, Meta is laying the foundation for its own computer ecosystem, so it does not really have to rely on the Google, Microsoft, or OpenAI in the future. And Microsoft, they got the game. Instead of building just 1 or 2 data centers, they are building right now dozens all over the world. US, Europe, India, Southeast Asia, and each data center is not going to be just for training, but also for deliver AI service closer to the users. You got this, right? So Microsoft wants to be the global operator, as I see, of artificial intelligence. They see where the future is headed, and they just want a bigger piece of cake. And about the US as a whole, they realized it's not enough to have only one data center in America. So now they are building a giant data centers in the desert near Abu Dhabi. This is a joint project between OpenAI, some massive investment fund, and US government itself. Why Abu Dhabi? The answer is all about the location. If we look at the app, UAE is a global internet hub, the crossroads of undersea cables connecting Europe, Africa, and Asia. That means that you can reach a massive market from Cape Town to Mumbai without extra hubs of delays. Because the closer data centers to its users, the faster your AI runs. And this is what impacts performance. Okay, data centers are huge, but there is actually another key ingredient for the next AI breakthrough. One that China, by the way, is fighting for right now, and it's chips. You can trade the models anywhere. In a desert, on Mars, gonna be harder, but if you don't have the chips, you're not going anywhere. AI is required mind-blowing amounts of fast computation, and you need special processors to handle thousands of operations at once. And right now, nobody does this better than NVIDIA. They control about 80% of the global market. So here is the main point. The real currency of AI race, at least right now, is NVIDIA's GPUs. They cost as much as the car, and every AI company wants them. And here is the comparison to show you just how massive this is. You probably heard about OPEC, the oil cartel that controls global oil prices by coordinating supply. This is one of the most powerful organizations in the world. And well, right now, NVIDIA is basically the OPES, but just in AI. They set the rules of the game. Back in the gold rush day, it was the guy selling the shovels who got rich, not the gold miners. So I would say NVIDIA right now is 21st century shovel seller. And guess who controls all of this? The US government. They controlling who does NVIDIA gets to sell these chips to. Even America's closest allies cannot always get access to the best stuff. That's why there is right now a very big push for the countries to build their own independent infrastructure. Brazil, India are both working on this right now. Europe is pouring billions into that. But here is the truth. NVIDIA has been working on this over 30 years. So it's pretty clear, if you don't build your own computing infrastructure now, you may stuck as a someone digital vessel for the next decades. And guess who is hit the hardest by this chip isolation? Of course, China. The US has banned exports of the top AI chips to China. What does it mean? Basically, the world's biggest market for the AI development suddenly found itself locked out of the most important hardware. You can throw billions into building a new AI models, you can build mega data centers. China is doing exactly that, and it's already number 2 the world after the US. But if you don't have the chips, it's like building a factory without the machines. Sure, China is investing heavily in the development of their own chips. Huawei, for example, is making some pretty advanced processors, but they still very behind Nvidia in both performance and energy efficiency. So progress is happening, but it's slow. But of course, this is a Chinese we're talking about, my favorite Chinese. They always find creative workarounds. Why I say favorite? Because I lived in China half of my life, so I love these people a lot. So what's funny? There is a story that was published on the Wall Street Journal reported that this spring, 4 engineers from Beijing flew to Kuala Lumpur with suitcases full of hard drivers. Almost 5 petabytes of data. Why? Well, you cannot import NVIDIA best GPUs into China, but there is no rule against exporting data. So what they did, they rented a data centers abroad with the chips they needed, trained their neural networks there, then packed everything into hard drivers and just brought it back to China on the regular flight. And this is just one example. Companies are buying up chips through third countries, shell companies, all kind of tricks. But the fact is that China needs this tech, and they will do whatever it takes. And honestly, I see it as a very big opportunity. It's gold mine for anyone working in this field right now. So many new businesses opportunities popping up. So chips and data centers, that's all? No. There is one more big problem everyone's running into, and it's data itself. It's become pretty clear right now that just making models bigger isn't working like it used to. Back in the day, you add 1 billion parameters, throw it more training data, build a bigger data center, and boom, quality would jump. Do it again, another leap forward. That's why there was so many updates through only 2 years. But now, companies discovering that just editing more data does not really give you those breakthrough results anymore. Visionaries in the industry are starting to say that we hit a point where scaling up just isn't enough. Why? Maybe this is because we're running out of data. Because the internet, as unlimited as it seems, has basically been eaten already. Companies already fed the models everything: Wikipedia, Reddit, GitHub, ebooks, new articles, recipes, forum comments, you name it. And sure, new data is added in every day. We're talking every day, we're publishing new stuff every day. But even the most optimistic experts say that we will run out high quality training data by about 2028. And that's why every company is now scrambling for the fresh data. For example, Anthropic, the creator of Claude, spending millions just to buy physical books, scan them, and then add them to their datasets. Yes, that's how intense the data hunger has become. By the way, I can see it in every sphere possible. When I'm talking to entrepreneurs, to the scientists, lack of quality data is everywhere. And companies who helping collect or even clean up the data are crazy high demand right now. And no matter the industry. By the way, healthcare industry are struggling with this. And you've probably seen it too. Businesses that reach out to my company for AI automation starting to realize that rather than very lack of data or their data is complete mess. Even if we as regular people have total chaos in our iPhone or computer folders, imagine what is going on in the companies with the thousands of clients. And now picture all of this messy data from the whole internet getting dumped into AI models. Most of them isn't even cleaned up properly. And even with all of this, we're still running out of data. And while Anthropic is scanning the physical books to expand their dataset, OpenAI has started creating synthetic data. It's like having AI generate its own training content. And now Google, Meta, Anthropic are all using this method. So these synthetic dataset are now must for the AI training. And they seem has a little bit results, but honestly, synthetic data isn't full replacement for the real thing. There is need to be a new approach. And with this approach came Elon Musk. While everyone is out searching for the new high quality data source, Elon Musk recently suggested something I would say really pretty smart. Let's just rewrite the entire body of the human knowledge from scratch. Another very crazy, hard idea, but actually what might help. He thinks it's not about quantity of data, but the quality. Data isn't total mess, and not just mess, but often contradictory and unreliable. The internet, books, articles, they all full of conflicting information. And maybe because part of it AI hallucinating so much. So what is the Musk plan? Let's take the latest version of Grok, fed it with the entire internet, and then ask it to fill the gaps. Remove junks, fix the mistake, clean up distortions. The idea is to make a sort of clean version of the internet. The kind of free Wikipedia free from fakes and viral nonsense, as Musk said. He even tweeted and asking people to send him inconvenient but 100% factual statements to make the models as accurate and censorship-free as possible. That's exactly the mission of XAI, seeking the truth. And whether you agree with this, not agree, it's pretty clear that we running out of new data. And every AI giant, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Meta, XAI, has their own approach to the problem. But here, the twist, the real irony of this whole race. After all of the technical talks, it turns out that everything still depends on people. And the most valuable thing in this race, the thing that can really move AI forward, is talents. So right now, there is a full-blown war for the top engineers. Every big company is desperately hunting for the best brains. And no one is going harder than Meta. The latest model, Llama 4, did not really quite beat even GPT-4. So Mark Zuckerberg decided, if we cannot beat them, let's hire the people who did. And Meta has reportedly poaches 5 or even 8 engineers straight from OpenAI. There was stories in the tech press that the Meta has offered up to 100 million for the single engineer to jump ship. Yeah, Meta later denied the exact number, saying it's including stocks, bonuses, and options. But even so, we're talking tens of millions for only one single person, just to switch teams. Well, the goal clear: build a new dream team and got back in the race. So the trend is obvious. In this new era, engineers are the new oil, right up with the chips. At least until AI gets good enough to replace its own creators. But that's the whole other story. I actually have a whole breakthrough on this future of jobs in the AI era. Check out this video if you're interested, because it's crazy to see what skills will really matter and which ones will be safe for the long time. And that's not engineers, by the way. So what is the takeaways? I would say we hit the ceiling, at least for now. AI development has exploded, and now we're at major crossroads, a crisis point. And no one really knows how we will break through. Some focusing on the talent, some on the chips, some computing power, and honestly, I think China is being forced into the most creative race of all. The whole world is trying to keep them out, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off something totally unexpected. I would call it pressure sparks innovation. But the fact remains, whoever finds this breakthrough first will lead the next era of artificial intelligence, and maybe even reshape the whole world. And until that happens, we as regular users probably won't notice, I would say, world-changing new tools, because all of the best stuff is already in kind of our hands. or at least everything companies are willing to give to us. I personally found it's really fascinating to step back kind of and look at the whole picture. So to know what's really happening right now, what we can do about it, and what's the new opportunities might be out there. In all of this kind of crisis, there is a lot of opportunities. So I hope you guys enjoyed diving into all of this with me and getting sense of what's really happening out there. Of course, I could not cover every single aspect. I more like tried to hit the main points, but I'd really would love to hear what you think. Drop a comment below what country or what company do you think will create the world's first AGI and make this big breakthrough. And let's see who has got these prediction skills. We will come back to this comment in a few years later and see who was right. And of course, I'm really happy to talk about you, about this video. Last video, I enjoyed talking to you. I was reading every comment that you leave. I've noticed that the English-speaking audience are really like to share their opinions, and this is really valuable to me. So let's get discussion today. You might say something bad about me, that you don't understand anything. You can say that as well. I'm just here to explore as you are, more like an enthusiast, I would say. But yeah, let's talk. And thanks so much for watching. Thank you for support. It's very important to me to see your commenting, to see you liking, especially when I'm just starting my English channel. And by the way, drop in the comments below what you want to hear next. Maybe it's gonna be interesting topic for the next video. Okay, bye-bye.